Hello and welcome back. In this lesson, we are going to get started with Reverse Me To by Lina. So let's open it. Xdebugger. And now we are at the entry point, and my settings are as follows. Option preferences, uncheck system breakpoint and TLS callbacks, and ignore these exceptions. And my plugins, Analyzer, as follows. Make sure the first two is unchecked. So now we can go ahead and select the parts we want to analyze, and then select all of those, and then right click, Analyzer, Analyze Selection. And now we can take a look at the code. As you can see, it has already filled in the function calls, window APIs, as well as the parameters. So let's take a run it and see what happens. We have a pop-up message box which says evaluation period out of date. Purchase new license. Click on OK. And the program terminates when we click OK. So let's restart the program. And let's see. So now if we were to... Alright, let's see. So now if we were to step through by pressing F8, we can see that it is calling all these functions. Load icon, load cursor, and then create file, and it seems it's looking for a file. Now look at this. As you recall from the earlier lessons, CreateFile is a Windows API function to look for a file or to create a file. And you can read up from MSDN over here. Search for MSDN, CreateFile. You can also refer to the earlier lessons on this, and these are the meaning of all these parameters. So create file. So the file that is trying to create is called key file. It is looking for this key file. So create file does not necessarily mean creating a file. It could also mean looking for a file so that you want to read it. So as you can see here, the parameters generic, read and write. That means it is looking for this file for reading and writing. The rest of the parameters are not so important. It is this one which we are interested in, keyfile.dat. So it is looking for this keyfile.dat, and here is where it calls the function, and the result of this call will be stored in the EAX. As we recall in the previous lessons, every window function will store the result of the call in EAX, and you can read it over here as well. The result of the call is known as the return value. So if you look at the Windows MSDN documentation, you can always scroll down and look at the return value. The return value. So the return, if the function succeeds, the return value is an open handle to the specified file. If the function fails, the return value is invalid handle value. We have seen this before in the past. Okay, so now the return value, now we are over here. So let's call this by pressing F8. Now the EX is this value, and press F8 and see what happens to it. And we get -1. As you remember in the previous lessons, we saw that when you get 8 F's like this, it means -1, and this is bad. It means that the file is not found. If the file is found, it will be a positive value, some number, positive number. So the file is not found. So what we need to do is create a file for it. So let's go and create a file. We can just do it here. Right click, new file, and the name of the file is keyfile.dat. keyfile.dat, and remove the txt at the back. Now if you don't see the extension at the back, you have to make it visible by going to View, Options, change folder and search options. Under View, make sure you uncheck this. Hide extension for known file type should be unchecked. So if yours is checked, just uncheck it and apply. Then you can see the extension. So if we restart and come back here, restart, and we step through again, and when we come to this here, see what happens when we call this, and now it is not a -1 anymore. Alright, so now it should jump over this bad message. Earlier on, when it was negative, it will not jump over this bad message. Let me demonstrate that to you. If I deleted this file, okay, let me close this first. Okay, I delete this file. I step through again. If I delete the file, when it comes to this, and it compares it whether it is negative, and you find that it is true. So because it is true, the zero flag is 1, and therefore it won't jump. JNE won't jump. So it will display the bad message. As I keep stepping through, it shows the bad message which says evaluation period out of date. But now, if I were to create the file, keyfile.dat, and I restart, let's F8, go to create file, and now the EAX is not -1, so this comparison will fail, and therefore it will set the zero flag to 0. So the zero flag will be 0, therefore this jump will take place. So it will jump over this bad message. So let's press F8, and now it goes here, and now it's trying to read the file. So it's opening the file, it's going to read. So in the next lesson, I will show you how to analyze this read file. So I'll see you then.